Derby Day in Melbourne for the third time this campaign, and make that a grand final rematch to boot. Massive ramifications for this season's title race. Melbourne City entertaining Melbourne Victory at Amy Park on Wurundjeri land on this Saturday night on Channel 10 and Paramount Plus. A first home match since the passing of former coach Rado Vidosic, so the Melbourne City fans sending an important message for them and Rado's legacy. May he rest in peace. Melbourne Victory fans, well, they have packed out the northern stand. The scarves are up, the colours displayed, because this one is local. Bragging rights for the city of Melbourne on the line. We can see our two sides lining up in the Isuzu Ute Tunnel Camp. Personal pride, perhaps World Cup spots on the line for players this evening. Above all, 3 massive points. Last season's champions, Melbourne City, can ill afford another slip-up. Just 1 win in their last 5. Inconsistency has been the Achilles heel for both these sides so far this campaign. It's been something of a mixed bag of results. Just 1 win in 5 for City. 1 in their last 3 for Melbourne Victory. As we have a look at how the two sides line up, City have been involved their last 2 matches, finishing off the Asian Champions League Elite League phase. So 4 changes for Aurelio Vidmar's side that was scoreless at home to Gangwon on Tuesday night. At the back, Harrison Delbridge and Nathaniel Atkinson both return in defence. Suprayan and Shillington dropping out. In midfield, Daniel Arzani comes in for Andreas Kuhn in that number 10 role. His first start since returning to the club. And rested in midweek, Marcus Yunus, who has 3 in 4 in all competitions since his loan deal from Brombu began. He replaces Kavian Rahmani. Arzani and Ryan Teague, both in the losing grand final side for Melbourne Victory last season. While for Melbourne Victory, no changes at all for Arthur Dillis from the side that drew 1-1 with Brisbane last time out. That means 21-year-old goalkeeper Jack Wachowski plays his first ever Melbourne derby. With Louis Dorigo still missing in midfield with that foot complaint, Jonro partners Valadon in the number 6 roles with Juan Mata as the number 10. He has 8 assists so far this campaign, the Spanish World Cup winner, playing just behind Charles Nduka with Nishan Velupillay and Keegan Jelacic on the flanks. Derby winner back in December, Matt Grimaldi, has to content himself with a place on the bench.
People came to see.
Australia is kicking off the AFC Women's Asian Cup against the Philippines. Australia versus the Philippines. March 1 on Paramount Plus. After 7 great seasons.
Dave Johnson. Nice to meet you.
I'm Tina. This is my husband, Calvin. We're the butlers.
Great, because I rang for some tea about a half hour ago.
Our funniest neighbours are back.
Well, all right.
For one final laugh around the block.
We were like Butch and Sundance.
Like chicken and waffles.
Like Crate and Barrel.
Okay, that's on me, guys. I encouraged them.
The final season of The Neighbourhood. Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
The Dragon Warrior's here.
for kicking butt and taking names.
What is it you're holding? A cookie?
Oh! Ah!
Fantastic scenes at Amy Park for the third derby, perhaps not the final one this season. Harrison Delbridge, the 33-year-old, returning to the A-League after 5 years in Korea. Today it's his 61st match, his 50th start, his one and only A-League goal came against Melbourne Victory. Denny Jonro, it's his 50th A-League match, and he started his career across the Yarra at Melbourne City, turning out this evening for the V of Victory. There's been a mixed bag of results for last season's two grand finalists. It finds them both on the cusp of the six with 9 matches left to play and 1 win apiece in the derby so far this season as Victory look to make a bright start, and it's Nathaniel Atkinson with an important intervention and a first free kick, a fairly robust one of the evening as well. Andy Harper woe-betide the side that slips up this evening.
Good evening, Robbie. You'd reckon. No slipping up here from Valupalate, getting a decent derby challenge in inside the first minute. Great occasion this. It's a superb night in Melbourne, you're right. Still sparkling sky. A good crowd. Victory outnumbering the home team tonight, unsurprisingly. Let's see what Melbourne City can do in the terraces as well as on the field, and their progress through Asia is laudable, but they're flatlining in the league. And it's not going to get any easier tonight, Robbie, because player for player and stylistically, this Melbourne Victory team is a mile better than the Gang Wong team that came here midweek from the K-League.
Well, one of the big questions coming into this contest was what sort of reception would there be for Daniel Arzani and Ryan Teague. A couple of boos for Teague there, but you get the feeling there'll be a lot more for Daniel Arzani. Here's Atkinson as City look to fashion the first opportunity of the evening. Ball back outside to Aziz Bayic, and the flag is up for offside, met with a roar of approval from the northern stand. Well, he hasn't really had a touch yet, Daniel Arzani, but the boos were certainly there.
Yeah, to be expected. Thomas Sorensen spoke about that pre-game. I thought really well. Of course, he'll block that out. What he might find a little more difficult to block out is the individual attention on pitch he gets from some of his former teammates, which you would expect to be very pointed. Teague as well.
First defensive header won by Harrison Delbridge over Charles Nduka. No way through for Valupalate against a very determined Nathaniel Atkinson. Arzani, it's his first start. Former teammate of Nishan Valupalate and most of these Melbourne Victory players. Little ball over the top for Jelassic. It's a good one. He might get a second bite at the cherry, Jelassic. He's done well against Bayic. Now Valupalate, 2 to aim for in the middle. Valupalate gets the cross, but it's overhit to the back post and beyond everyone, including Josh Rawlins, who'd come forward to join the attack. But already 3 minutes in, and we've seen both sides looking to play penetrating balls into the penalty box of their opponents. Goals will, of course, be at a premium between these two. It was 1-0 in the 91st minute for the Christmas derby at the end of last year. 2-0, Caputo and Antonio in the first meeting this season. Only 1-0 again in last year's showpiece, the grand final, courtesy of Jonathan Cohen. So for the moment, getting that first goal between these two sides is proving absolutely crucial. Esposito looks long, 1-4 Nduka to chase. He's got away from Ferreira, and he's got the pace on the Argentine as well. He's done well, Nduka, and in the end the ball has just come off him last.
Well, this is instructive, this little tete-a-tete. Firstly, the speed of Nduka, but look at how Ferreira sticks in there, and he just hangs in long enough to tow the ball onto the shin of Nduka. when one thought he might have been beaten. But he's a canny customer, Herman Ferreira. A couple of slip-ups in recent times, which has been most out of character, but nothing like a derby to refocus.
Well, it's been a little bit the story of City's season as well. Lapses in concentration at the back. And they've had plenty of matches added to their fixture list as well. The Champions League, which started before the A-League season had even begun. Now, Daniel Arzani thought he'd done enough against Roderick Miranda.
He didn't need a lot of help there, Miranda, but his momentum was heading in such a direction that didn't need much help from Arzani. So Harrison Delbridge. Probably the salutation to Harrison is that a lot of players go to Korea and don't survive. He's been there 5 years. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, but that puts him in the same sort of league as Alex Grant at Sydney and Alex Wilkinson and Sacha Ognenovsky. So to survive and thrive and contribute for 5 years in the K-League speaks a lot. And if I'm a Melbourne City fan, I'm saying welcome back, Harrison, and let's go.
124 K-League appearances in that time as well, so very much imposed himself at the back. Also means he survived the infamous Korean pre-season regimes, which are generally considered pretty tough, especially for big central defenders.
Well, his career started all those years ago in US college soccer with Appalachia State. And here he is back at Melbourne, joining the defending champions to see if he can add some impetus to their title defence.
He's done pretty well there with Bajic. That looked like a hand from Rawlins, and referee Daniel Elder saw it. Now, as is Bajic, is claiming that was intentional, that Medin Mehmeti would have been away. Let's have a look. And he's probably right.
He's definitely right.
Well, Rawlins escapes an early card, perhaps. He put the brakes on that. Well, the handball was just about on the halfway line, but Daniel Elder forcing Delbridge all the way back. He played 60 A-League matches before heading to Korea for Melbourne City. Just the one goal that came against Melbourne Victory in a derby defeat by 2-1. He'll be hoping any goals tonight bring a better result, as Nduka looking to get away again, and Ferreira is again doing the muscling work while Delbridge cleans up behind.
Well, the speed of Nduka has been identified clearly by Melbourne Victory. That's twice now. Beautiful ball in behind the nominal position of a right fullback. Ferreira there reading it and recovering. Delbridge seeing the danger away.
Patrick Beach kept his first clean sheet in 5 matches against Gangwon. And what must be said, after having secured qualification, was a bit of a drab scoreless draw in midweek. City dropped out of the top 4 places, though, which means they'll be at home in the first leg of their last 16 clash against Buriram United. That, of course, means a return to Amy Park for the former Mariners championship winning coach Mark Jackson on the 3rd of March, and then back away on the 10th of March for City. Confirmation of the reception of Daniel Arzani. Ball to the back post. Ryan Teague received the ball from Arzani, and without a whisper from the crowd.
Well, they need a bit more of a pre-season, the Victory fans. They couldn't do the repeat boo.
Here's Delbridge. Mehmeti. Genro very quickly on the scene. He's done well. Mata now back with Genre. First time ball, Valadon. Well, they're three diminutive but highly technical midfielders, and we saw it there.
But it wasn't the technical prowess of John Rowe which tipped the scales in favour of victory here. It's great work from him. Valadon couldn't keep things going. His pass was poor. But it's otherwise been a good return to some very positive form from Geordie Valadon. He looked a long way off last season's form. Of course, he gets to go head-to-head against his partner from last year tonight, Ryan Teague. Maybe there's an extra special bit of motivation for both tonight.
Atkinson does well to find Arzani running at Esposito. Arzani still. Was he tripped? Well, he's got quick feet, Daniel Arzani. Perhaps a bit too quick for the referee on that occasion. As Jelacic earns the free kick off, or the throw off Aziz Bayic.
Good start, 10 minutes in, plenty in it. The goalkeeper's not tested yet, but it's been as you'd expect. Very sharp players into the contest, really crisply. Arzani hitting the deck, expecting help from the referee, none forthcoming.
Now that switch of play from Atkinson to Arzani was one we witnessed about 15 times during the pre-match warm-up of City's defence, getting the ball wide into those full-back rolls, and then the diagonal pass. Jelacic does nicely, takes Bayic out of the game with a little dummy. Now looks to measure the cross. It's about not a bad one to the back post, and Nishan Velupillay. Well, perhaps it wasn't at an ideal height, but he seemed caught in two minds.
Not ideal. I mean, again, it's a beautiful lead up. Great lead from Jelacic. Rawlins didn't need to hesitate and feeds Keegan beautifully. This touch is not that helpful, takes him wider, then the ball is in behind Velupillay, whose ambition outweighed his ability on that occasion, unfortunately, for victory, because that was a really sweeping move.
And Duca and Mata putting the press on. Genre for Juan Mata again. Now Davidson. Victory coming forward with intent. Valadon's header back for Velupillay. Cleared by Ryan Teague. Now Juan Mata. Oh, lovely little dink into Velupillay, whose touch lets him down. Ferreira manages to clear and win the throw. But that was another little opportunity and a lovely little dink in from Juan Mata.
Well, Mata's been beautiful all season. And Nishan Velupillay, a key attacking weapon. And his touch has been off the last two times inside the penalty area, which is where he's really got to do his work.
Esposito, who got his first goal of the season and for Melbourne victory against Wellington a couple of weeks ago. Miranda, big switch of play. He has a Derby goal on his CV. Esposito, great switch. Mata, lovely control as well. Here's Velupillay again. Davidson, back for Juan Mata. Mata still, the cross. Bayic clears. Mehmeti helped on by Arzani, the little flick. Mehmeti, still only a teenager. He's very quick, big and strong as well. And he's found his goal-scoring touch in recent weeks.
Yeah, it's good awareness from Daniel Arzani too, just to help the ball on into that 1v1 situation. Well, Rawlins had to scramble.
Mehmeti got his fourth of the season against Wellington Phoenix. And on a losing cause in that 6-2 humiliation at the hands of MacArthur. Arzani. Big cheer from the Melbourne Victory fans as that pass is overhit. Not on the same wavelength as Aziz Bayic, who did applaud the pass. Well, the chant of "Who are you?" but they, of course, probably have quite fond memories of Daniel Arzani in their colours just last season. That's what makes it all the more painful, of course. Perhaps forgotten that either side of a fairly unhappy stint in Europe, he's back where it all began, at Melbourne City. Rawlins looking to bypass Jelassic and invite Nduka, who's full of running in these opening 14.5 minutes. Esposito back with Roderick Miranda. Davidson. Lupale again trying to just help it on, but his touch has been a little bit off so far. '51st A-League derby between these two sides. Melbourne Victory 18 wins, Melbourne City 16. And there have been some utter humiliations down the years, as well as very tight matches. 7-0, 6-0, 5-2. Some of the scorelines. Rawlins got himself in a bit of a tangle. Genro, he's been clipped there by Lopane. Daniel Alder with a little word to Medin Mehmeti about preventing free kicks being taken quickly. Again, Nduka showing his pace.
That's a great burst of speed, and it turned a sure thing into almost a contest for Harrison Delbridge.
Well, he's won the throw.
And they win the throw on the back of it. Exactly, Robbie.
Rawlins again with Jelassic. Genro. For Rawlins, it's going to hold up enough. The cross is a nice one as well. Right into that 6-yard penalty box, penalty spot area. Now Davidson. Victory just ahead on points in the opening round. Mata was hit late. Jelassic, has that hit a hand? As Nduka draws an absolutely spectacular save from Patrick Beach. Referee thought about the handball, allowed play to continue, so that is a spectacular save from Beach.
Well, it is a great save from Beach, but it really should be a goal. It just bounces beautifully. Beach does excellently, and he's got the whole goal to aim at. You've, in that situation, in that millisecond, you've actually got to visualise that ball going in, not just making clean contact. Now, that should be 1-0 for Victory, and full credit, though, to Patrick Beach, of course.
Miraculous save, really, given the circumstances. Corner in. Beach comes and punches and completely missed it. Well, there we've seen the highs and the lows of an A-League goalkeeper in the space of about 60 seconds.
Well, some queries with the ref as to why Danny Genro was allowed to be eating dirt on the edge of the 6-yard box. But it's a fair contest for the ball. There's just gets sandwiched, and Beach nearly angling that into his own goal after the heroics of the save to force the corner in the first place.
Oh, players falling everywhere. Beach again, this time decides to go long towards Max Caputo. Big physical contest. Miranda right in the back of Max Caputo, not giving him any room whatsoever to try and bring that ball down. As the final rays of sunshine hit the top of the stand here, night will fall on Melbourne, and the derby spirits will emerge. If there was to be another win for Melbourne Victory, it would make things very interesting for Melbourne City, who have bemoaned their lack of consistency. They'd be at least 3 points out of the 6, with MacArthur the chance to extend that points gap tomorrow when they take on the leaders Newcastle. And with only 8 matches left to play after this one, that starts being a big enough gap to be worrisome for Aurelio Vidmar. Rawlins does well. He's having his ankles hacked away, and Ryan Teague wanted to keep going. Davidson. It's picked off by Atkinson. Davidson went looking to make amends. A little, I think it was actually Juan Mata's foul. On Nathaniel Atkinson, but there's a great intensity in the opening 20 minutes between these two sides. Possession, Melbourne victory. Certainly they've been on top early. Oh, it was Mata! That is outstanding! Outrageous from the Spaniard. Well, a derby goal of the highest order. City won a free kick on Herman Ferreira, but that would be to deny us a moment of absolute magic from the Spanish magician. Well, you might take a bow. Well, those fans are delighted he made the trip south from Western Sydney.
Well, Harvey Norman replay. It's heavy touch from Ferreira. Plays himself into trouble. And we've got a new opener for the next Melbourne derby. We've been feasting off Timmy Cahill's goal at Marvel Stadium from halfway or thereabouts, and now it's the maestro, Juan Mata. It's been an excellent season from him, and he's got a goal for the ages now to celebrate. So that challenge is in the dock. It's being reviewed as we speak. You get the feeling that it's going to be play on. And Juan Mata with a piece of brilliance.
Well, you could almost say turning back the clock, except that it's very real and very present. We know it's been coming. Another roar from the northern stand, who were perhaps worried that VAR might intervene. Well, what a fantastic goal, and what a way to set the tone for what has been a very fast-paced start to this one.
And if I could suggest, apart from the sheer aesthetic majesty and the quick thinking brilliance of Juan Mata there, it's not a moment that's a flash in the pan. He's been outstanding this season, and that's exactly the type of goal that his general contribution has deserved, in my opinion. He didn't get a lot of game time at the Wanderers last year. Was his time up? The Victory thought no, and he's been outstanding since.
As is Bajic. Went into a tough tackle with him there, and Juan Mata was not happy with it. The two have had a discussion, and it looks as though they've sorted their differences. There were a couple of words exchanged as well. Crowd certainly didn't like it. They don't like the fact that Daniel Arzani's there taking this corner either. City looking for a way back into the contest. Will it be formally one of their own to get them back in? Too close to Wachowski, whose punch is met with another cheer. Velupile gets it back. Davidson finds Valadon. There's space on this right-hand side. It's Mata, who tried to take it first time. He lifts it over Delbridge. Mata still going. Saved by Beach. Well, it may not have been as good as the first, but it wouldn't have been too bad either. Here come Victory again. Denny Jonro's turn. He tries it. Well, he's been given a pretty good example to follow.
Well, it's a lovely ball from Valadon. It's a great break. You'd fancying Harrison Delbridge there. And then you're fancying, as is Bajic. And Patrick Beach comfortable in the end. It was set up for Mata. And a great run. Fabulous ball from Valadon, and Beach just kept his nerve. You can't say the same for the City Blue in front of him. They're rocking at the moment. Melbourne City, Victory all over them.
Now Miranda, who was again getting very, very tight with Caputo, has actually given away the free kick. Arthur Dillis is not happy, wondering how his captain has ended up on the floor. Two Australia under-20 teammates, Esposito and Caputo, unravelling that one. Now your turn, Andy Harper. Oh, and it's the initial elbow, but I don't think there was anything intended there.
Miranda sort of jumped into it. Yeah, and you can't hang Max Caputo for that. I think there have been a couple of contentious ones in recent weeks, actually, but I'm not including that in the category. It doesn't make it any more pleasant for Roddy Miranda.
Well, you can see that just the red mark on the cheekbone there, right under the eye.
That's the beautiful night that Robbie's described. Sensational evening in Melbourne. And even better if you're a Victory fan.
Well, you almost feel like saying for the neutral observer, whatever happens from now on in is a bonus, because that entry price has been looked after by Juan Mata. Let's go down to Michael Zapponi, who's on the sidelines for us this evening. Zappers, how did you see that one?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant noise down here. Oh yeah, I think Roderick Miranda pushed Max Caputo underneath there, so no qualms for the free kick from my perspective. One of the things that I've noticed with Juan Mata is whenever he gets the ball, he's looking to release early, and that's an instruction that the wingers are aware of. When he gets it, make that run. Tonight, Melbourne City have some very, very good defenders that are protecting that in Nathaniel Atkinson and Aziz Bayic. Mata, however, didn't need that tonight. That was brilliant, that finish. This will go down in history as one of the great goals of a Melbourne derby. Well done to Nish Velupillay too, because that type of effort is what Melbourne Victory want to see. Chasing the ball down and causing the turnover.
Thank you, Zappers. Marcus Yunus, that's just about his first touch of the football, I think. 27 minutes in as he heads it behind for a goal kick.
Really, they've barely been in it, Melbourne City. Barely been in it. That they're only one behind is the silver lining on that cloud. Indeed, it's the only cloud in Melbourne tonight. Victory have been excellent. There's a good turnout from City fans tonight, which is heartening. The stadium's not full. Melbourne City clearly have got a lot more work to do. Victory obviously have sold all their tickets and making all the noise, but there's looks like an impressive turnout from the Melbourne City fans. Their team needs to respond. They're in the doldrums a little bit. They just cannot break this inertia.
Melbourne Victory have opened the scoring 8 times now this season. It's a long way behind Auckland's 14, or the Newcastle Jets 14 times, but they are undefeated, having won 6 of the previous 7 for 1 draw. However, Melbourne City have come from behind once this season, and that was a very impressive performance here against Auckland a month ago, including an outstanding second half performance from Aurelio Vidmar's men. Davidson and Yunus. Again, it's a strong challenge, and Atkinson looking to come and give his young teammate some support.
Yeah, well, he's doing his bit, Nathaniel Atkinson. And it's not that other City players aren't putting in, but there is just, I don't know, there's no grease in the wheels. They're not getting through. Victory are just carving them up.
And they come again with Keegan Jelassic looking to get it onto that right boot. A little touch out for Mata. Now Valadon's run into the box. Mata again, Valadon. Jordi Valadon for Jeanreau, off the crossbar. Well, they're toying with them at the moment.
Now, what a brilliant goal that would have been, too. What a brilliant goal that would have been. Crafted. Great passing, excellent patience. The mentality behind the attack, the touch from Jeanreau to get past Ryan Teague, who was hapless in his wake. A fizzing shot, beach beaten, and it's only the crossbar that denies the Melbourne Victory an excellent second goal.
And Melbourne City, despite all those passes in and around the penalty box, never looked like getting close to victory. They're a little bit shell-shocked at the moment. Rawlins, thumping header. Delbridge with a fistful of Nduka's jersey. Now, Nduka wanted it played quickly. Valadon finds Velupile. Davidson arriving. Mata wants it on the edge of the area. Velupile shoots. Davidson was in an offside position. He left it cleverly to let it go out for a corner to keep the momentum.
It is about momentum. Quick free kicks. Melbourne City can't even get back and get into position. And the passing quality from Melbourne Victory has been outstanding, really. And even that raking, grass-cutting pass from Valadon to open up the left side attack from which this corner originated. Just brilliant. Victory looking really good.
Mata. The cross in again from Jelacic. Valadon. Back out to Juan Mata. One touch and pass. Davidson hooks it back. Bajic able to clear. Genro. A little touch. Genro looking for the return ball from Jelacic. Esposito now. City just can't get it clear. Wave after wave of Melbourne Victory at the moment. Another one. Hooked over from Genro.
It's the first little break in discipline. And Nduka just clocked off when he needed to make sure he stayed in the action and stayed onside. Crucial little moments like that let pressure off and teams get a breather that wasn't otherwise coming. And instead of Melbourne City's goal very potentially still being under siege, now they can play away.
30 minutes in, 30 entries to 10 into the final third. Touches in the opposition box, all one-way traffic at the moment. The stats illustrating what we've seen in the opening half hour here at Amy Park. Delbridge hasn't been the happy return he was hoping for. Here's Yunus, first real chance to run at Miranda. Yunus gets the cross in. Caputo, well, he only needs one chance. Max Caputo with a brilliant header, his second in a Melbourne derby after earlier this season. And out of nothing, well, if you get the ball to Marcus Yunus, things can happen.
Crazy, crazy football. And it's Nathaniel Atkinson who wins the duel on the touchline. Ball stays in play. Harvey Norman replay. Marcus Yunus just sticks it up to the back post. Caputo does excellently, backing away, gets enough on the header. But really, Melbourne Victory should have dealt with that defensively. It's a great header from Caputo, in fairness. He's had to feed off scraps so far, Max Caputo, but he's too strong here, and it's a great angle on the header. And from nothing, City are back level. Only in football, Robbie. Only in football.
Goal number 7 of the season for Max Caputo. He gets back to scoring ways in the A-League. Jelacic, he's kept that in well. Rawlins, little 1-2 with Mata. Rawlins, nice touch. Jelacic, Victory looking to bounce back immediately. And they will have a corner as it comes off Ryan Teague last. Well, this is what derbies are all about. Juan Mata with the corner. Melbourne Victory have scored 5 times from corners this season. Only Sydney have done better. Mata, back post, looking for Davidson. Yunus, he's quick and he's strong. Marcus Yunus on loan from Brøndby in Denmark. Well, you can hear the roar of the crowd. They wanted a free kick. Nduka, cleared by Bajic. There is a fantastic energy out there. You can feel it. It's exciting.
That's brilliant. And Melbourne City carry the goal, feel like they're right back in it when they really should be on the canvas. But they've got enough quality to hurt Melbourne Victory again.
Here he goes, Arzani, on one of those mazy runs. Well, he's back to try and force his way back into the Socceroos reckoning as well. Ryan Teague returned to City. Another like that. Denny Jonro to Melbourne Victory. There's no shortage of players that want to be on that plane to the World Cup. Tony Popovic has created a really competitive environment around the Socceroos by giving so many players their opportunity, by stating time and time again, if you're performing, you're a chance. And he's backed it up with actions as well. Now Lupane, that's a poor pass, intercepted by Miranda. Valadon, Velupale, and Victory, who were looking to break quickly, now settle things back down. They could do with trying to take the sting out of City as well, who have got their mojo back in the last couple of minutes. Davidson looks long. Jelassic is quick across the ground as well. They have pace with he and Velupale and Nduka behind the wizardry and the brain of Juan Mata. Caputo. Arzani. Sucking Rawlins in. Now finding Mehmedi. Now, is that a back pass? No, says the referee. Wachowski certainly prevented the corner. And now Victory have it again. Look at the wrestling, and Duca's done well back to goal there against Delbridge. Jelassic. Mata. Couldn't beat Atkinson. Ryan Teague hooks the ball away. Arzani making a nuisance of himself. Again, Caputo. Great strength. Ball over the top. Yunus. He's got Mehmedi at the back post. Yunus looking. Mehmedi. Oh, he should have scored. City should be in front. Massive miss for Medin Mehmedi. It's not finished though. Yunus was again the provider. And then the flag goes up for offside in that second phase, but what a chance.
Goodness me, what a miss. And a bit of muscle in midfield sees Melbourne City win the ball. It's a sensational pass from Yunus. This is exactly what the doctor ordered. It's a fabulous reaction from Wachowski as well, because it could easily have gone off the keeper into the goal, but he had enough of the presence of mind in that reflex situation to swat the ball away. Clearly it should be 2-1, but then again it should have been 2-0 to Victory. What a game is brewing here.
I think you were paraphrasing Aurelio Vidmar there, from what I could tell with my lip reading skills, which are limited, but I think it was along the lines of that should be 2-0 now. 2-1.
Well, they're back in it, not just on the scoreboard. They were dead ducks for the opening half hour or so.
What an impact Marcus Yunus has made. He has been the January signing so far for Melbourne City. Dispossessed there though. He's got it back. Here he goes again. Little ball forward for Arzani. Hurdles Valadon's challenge. Look at that. Beautifully done, Marcus Yunus. Oh, and well, Lupane wasn't expecting it. The two former Wanderers. And now Velupale feeling that urgency. It's a great ball. Plenty of space for Nduka. Jelassic gets it early. They're in behind them again here. Jelassic turns inside. Well, he was probably entitled to go itself having turned Ryan Teague inside out, but there were other players in the box.
One of whom was Juan Mata. But it was enviable space for Keegan Jelassic. Juan Mata just holding his quad there. Let's see, he's on the edge of the box, makes great space, and then everything disappears when he needs it. As far as technique is concerned, he's a very technical player too, Keegan Jelassic. Maybe not as technical as Juan Mata. Let's hope him grabbing at that quad is not a sign of an injury or a niggle.
If he has felt something, you'd feel almost certain Arthur Dillis would want him wrapped in cotton wool. He wouldn't take any chances with that player, given the fight that there is on at the moment to get into that top 6. It's been such a competitive season, but you do get the feeling that there is just a little fracture appearing between position 6 and 7. That's the risk for Melbourne City this evening. The surprise package, Newcastle, are setting a cracking pace at the top, 7 consecutive wins. Wachowski's ball forward, only as far as the head of Atkinson. Again, Caputo. Good touch, clever touch from Arzani for Yunus. Marcus Yunus. Oh, that was well struck. The follow-up from Arzani. Well, he stung the palms of Wachowski. A goal and an assist against Ulsan. Genro clears, but for how long? This first half has absolutely flown by. There's 4 minutes left. In the 45, Atkinson. Yunus, little touchback, well read by Velupile, who was sticking. Oh, how about that from Mata? A little ball into space for Velupile. Well, he had Jelassic to the right. Here's Nduka now. His shot is scuffed. That was poor on the left boot. It's another let-off for City.
Well, probably fortunate the ball got to Nduka in the end anyway. Brilliant from Juan Mata. A lovely turn. And it's great capture by the Camos. Brilliant. Not quite the Mata-esque end for Nduka and Melbourne victory. Good side at goal nonetheless.
It is all the same an 11th shot for Melbourne victory in this first half against just 3 for Melbourne City. Having said that, City's 3 have all looked dangerous.
Yeah, well, Patrick Beach has saved brilliantly once, comfortably another time, and Genro's hit the crossbar. So of those 11, as you say, there's the Mata piece of brilliance and 3 other definitely goal-bound efforts. Wachowski has made a stunning save, so too Patrick Beach. So the keepers are at 1-1, scores at 1-1. Midfield is evening out to parity. It was Melbourne victory winning everything, and I think one of the key things that's turned it for City is that they're winning their share of the contest in midfield. Balls bouncing around for the opening 25 minutes. It was all navy blue. And the last few minutes, that stat, those who are measuring it, be interested to see. Melbourne City are clawing their way back into the centre of the park, winning the duels and then spraying the ball principally out to Yunus, who's causing all sorts of havoc.
Can confirm, Andy, 51% of duels City's way after a poor start in that department. Here is Yunus again with Atkinson. Arzani coming looking for the ball. Atkinson down the right. They're going to have a corner. Corners haven't been their strength so far this season. This is their 100th of the campaign. Just 1 goal from a corner. That was Max Caputo against Brisbane. Another headed goal from the big number 17, who walks into the 6-yard box along with 5 teammates. 6 of them in there. Teague whips it back post. Well, that wasn't dissimilar to the Brisbane move and goal. That time it was Yunus trying to get free on his own at the back post. Two goals in 3 in the A-League, plus 1 against Ulsan in the Champions League for Marcus Yunus. Wachowski goes long. Bajic sends it back from whence it came. Esposito with Rawlins. And again, the pressure is on. Players barely being allowed to turn and face to bring the ball under control. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Bajic, Caputo. Back to goal with Teague. Genro clears and is then collected by the man that replaced him at Melbourne Victory, or one of the men, Louis Dorigo as well, absent this evening. Not too much in it from Teague, but late nonetheless. It's been a tough return, having played just a few minutes for Mechelen in Belgium. Don't forget, the countdown is well and truly on now. Just a week tomorrow, the AFC Women's Asian Cup begins. Australia versus Philippines on the opening night in Perth. What a month it's going to be to celebrate the women's game, and hopefully a second Asian Cup for the Matildas after their crowning in 2010. It's going to be tough. There are some big hitters, the biggest hitters in Asia. Japan, the Koreas are all present along with the Matildas. Davidson. Is there time to fashion one more chance? You can probably forgive the players for having a little bit of a breather in the last 30 seconds of this half. Velupale nodding on. It wasn't the easiest of balls from Roderick Miranda. That may well be that. Patrick Beach rolls it out. The 2 minutes of stoppage time are up. Referee Daniel Elder says that will do. An outstanding first half of football in the 51st Melbourne derby in the A-League between these fiercest of rivals. City and Victory lit up in the 21st minute by a moment of absolute magic from Juan Mata. A goal from 40 metres out, looping over a stranded Patrick Beach. But then with their first real chance of the evening, Max Caputo drew Melbourne City level. Both keepers made some outstanding saves. It's a match that's had absolutely everything so far. Everything you want from a Melbourne derby as well. Half-time at Amy Park. City 1, Victory 1. We're heading off to a very quick break. Tara and the boys will be back with the halftime show. Don't go anywhere.
With spending details in the BankWest app, every purchase is easy to see, which means less time worrying about unknown transactions and more time worrying about the doll. Mortality. New people. And loose ends.
Got a feel for the kick inside. Kara Cooney cross things, Samantha
only place to see every game of the AFC Women's Asian Cup is on Paramount Plus. Kicking off with Australia versus the Philippines, March 1 on Paramount Plus.
Now the hills are alive with the sound of murder.
You can let your fear take you down, or you can step into a better solution.
I have been thinking a lot about you.
I haven't thought about you at all. They're boarding the ship.
This is how it ends!
Blow that ship down.
Star Trek Starfleet Academy on Paramount Plus.
Perhaps you know me as the Dragon Warrior.
Oh, Master Shifu!
That's much worse.
I will become the world's greatest villain by destroying the world's greatest hero.
What is it you're holding? A cookie?
Ah! One last Dragon Warrior smackdown.
Oh, come on!
I'm gonna lead you right to her front door.
Hey!
Are you ready to laugh at the neighborhood?
Yes!
Great! The final season is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Hey, you ain't got to twist my arm. Ow.
The final season of The Neighborhood, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Supreme. Can you believe this? The cross is not bad either for it's a wonderful strike. It's what the people came to see.
Well, this is football at its finest this Saturday night here at Amy Park in the Melbourne Derby. Both of these sides going toe-to-toe. Wow, we've had 2 goals, one in particular from that man right there, Juan Mata. Well, he is the magician, and take a bow because it was a thing of magic and mystery. Welcome to the Hungry Jacks halftime show, and a very warm welcome back to Thomas Sorensen and Archie Thompson. I can barely get my breath back. You could not take your eyes off that contest. And what a goal from Juan Mata.
Incredible. And it was all victory the first half an hour. I think Melbourne City looked like a boxer out for the count. And, you know, we see plenty of chances here. Incredible save from Patrick Beach. He kept them in it. But then, you know, Juan Mata stepped up and talk us through this, Archie. This is incredible.
Oh, you had questions on maybe that was a foul on Ferreira.
It could be an obstruction maybe, but took nothing away.
But still, to be able to see that the goalkeeper's out, the first thought is, I'm going to try and hit this and score a goal. We've seen it in derbies past. I kind of compared it with Timmy Cahill's goal. I thought that maybe Timmy Cahill's goal was fantastic, but that's right up there. I mean, look at the way he's just placed it. I love the way that Mata passes the ball because sometimes it's the way to pass that he does it. And again, he was another great opportunity. I thought, come on, old boy, you've got this. Keep it close to you. And he almost pulls up another miraculous goal. But sensational half an hour from Melbourne victory.
Yeah, and then John Rowe here, we'll see him hit the crossbar. You know, it could have been game over by this time. So, you know, we'll talk about how Melbourne City suddenly came back into it. You know, so again, we've got a game on our hands now, and it's been a great first 45 minutes.
Against the run of play, against the run of what we'd seen in that opening 30 minutes, enter Marcus Eunice, one of their most dangerous players on that right-hand side. And look at him, his pace and just that nous and tenacity to create something, Thomas. This was a moment of magic, that ball in to Max Caputo.
Yeah, and that's where he's got the power. He just gets to the byline. And Max Caputo, you know, he's a box player. And if he gets the service in there, he's going to score. You know, Melbourne Victory would be a bit disappointed, you know, doesn't get to the first ball, but Marcus Yunis, he's been a difference maker, and he does the same thing tonight.
I was just probably looking at where Miranda's positioning was. You saw, okay, Nathaniel Atkinson wins that ball, but you've got to almost anticipate that he might win that ball. I've got to be close to Yunis, and you can't leave that guy with any space.
How's Mamedi missing this?
I don't know, but Yunis, I mean, that pace and that speed, the immediate thought he gets is like, okay, I've got the ball, where can I attack the space? And that ball that he put across that 6-yard box was world class. I don't know how Mamedi didn't finish that.
Quite frankly, we didn't want that first half to finish. We were like, where is this going to go? And who knows how the second half is going to play out? Because arguably in that first half, City were under the pump. There were some wayward passes. There was no midfield pretty much, Thomas. I mean, we were sitting up from that aerial view, watching what Melbourne City were doing. They needed to try and get a foothold in that game, and they're going to have to do that and finish off and come out here how they finished that first half.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to play through that midfield because, you know, Ryan Teague, Lapane are not getting on the ball. And whenever Melbourne City are trying to play out from the back, they're cut off. They end up with long balls. They lose it. You know, so that's going to be the key now. Find a solution to that. And then they're in this game, you know, so that's, you know, that's the main thing.
Well, that was the Hungry Jacks halftime show. We're seeing inside the sheds now. One Marta. Wow, it was a goal of magic. We're up to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We're having a huge second half heading away because we are all tied up in the 51st edition of the Melbourne Derby. Well, you don't often see moments like this in football. Poor Wellington Phoenix goalkeeper here, Oluwemi, an own goal off the back of his head. It just added more pain onto the Wellington Phoenix in their plight this season. Giancarlo Olitalo, he actually resigned post this game. 5-0 the final result in the New Zealand derby. And this from Sydney FC, Tiago Quintal. Who can stop him, the young gun, getting on the score sheet for the team that he loves so much. Sydney FC, they're a third on the table, and we look forward to another huge second half of football, of course. One of the goal-scoring magicians, Juan Mata, getting some treatment on that quad in the halftime sheds at the moment. Hopefully he can shake that off and get out there in the second half. 1-1 it is. How will this second half play out? Kick-off is a moment away.
Welcome back to Amy Park. Second half not far away. Juan Mata looked a little ginger for Melbourne Victory as he was coming off for the first half. I had a quick chat to him. He gave me the thumbs up. He'll resume this second half. What a goal he scored for Melbourne Victory in that first. I had a quick chat to Aurelio Vidmar as well. He was not happy with the first half an hour. He said they looked tired, but they found their rhythm in the last 15. Marcus Eunice been outstanding for them as well. It is all set for a ripping second half.
1-1 at the break. No changes to either side at half-time either. This one brilliantly poised at one apiece, and it is Melbourne Victory who made that lightning start, capped off by that magical goal from Juan Mata in the 21st minute, and maybe an early chance here. Patrick Beach went fishing, didn't get anywhere near it. Now Velupale sends it almost into orbit, at least into the back rows of the northern stand at Amy Park.
Well, nearly didn't get a chance to take our seat. Harrison Delbridge perhaps just under hitting that back pass with the head. Patrick Beach maybe didn't anticipate well enough. The one who did react was Keegan Jelassic, and then Juan Mata knew where the chance was. Lapane putting good pressure on Velupale, and that finish in the end. Pretty par for the course for Nishan tonight so far in those tight moments.
The evening settling on what promises to be a Melbourne derby for the ages. Davidson forward towards Nduka. He wanted it played wide into the channel. Esposito, bit of head tennis. Teague back. Jonro hooks it up and over towards Nduka. Proving a real handful for Harrison Delbridge.
But it's a handful that is still yet to win a duel. And as awkward as it's been, Delbridge has won everything.
And now Arzani. That's well played. Denny Jonro, who has been everywhere in midfield, putting in a lot of tough challenges as well for Melbourne Victory. Ferreira. Another one for Nduka again. Wrestled to the ground by Delbridge. Takes the free kick quickly. Velupale. Little touch for Valadon. Nishan Velupale again. Mata. Oh, and something of a rarity, and he knows that was an opportunity lost because Velupale was charging forward. The ball just got away from Juan Mata. Miranda, nicely done. Davidson, left for Mata. Velupale goes again. Strong from Atkinson.
Who's been strong all night, actually, Nathaniel Atkinson, even in that opening half hour where City was struggling. Nathaniel Atkinson was leading the charge, and indeed it was the courage and bravery and strength of him winning that duel on the far touchline which was the platform for the first goal, the equalising goal for Melbourne City.
Genreau coming again with Valadon, and again Denny Genreau putting himself about. It breaks for Jelassic, his cross just too far from Nduka, and Beach drags it out of the sky.
And just lacked awareness. I mean, it's hard, these things come in the blink of an eye, but you've got to have that awareness. He had a look to, in the end, in the cut and thrust of a Melbourne derby, when things locked 1-1, you just got to do better.
Patrick Beach, the 22-year-old Socceroo goalkeeper, brings the ball out with Ferreira, the Argentine. Lopane. Mistake with his pass. Victory starting the second half the way they started the first, on the front foot. Aggressive, taking the game to Melbourne City. Mata again. Clever back heel, Velupale. They've got another corner. Melbourne Victory. Davidson wants some more noise from the fans behind the goal there. Juan Mata standing over this corner. He delivers. Good header away by Delbridge. Jelassic, lovely control. Jelassic comes inside, still going, and shoots from distance.
And not unreasonable, that from Jelassic. A couple of beautiful touches, lovely soft control. Skipping past Caputo, but then there's too much instep. He needs to wrap his boot on the outside of the ball there rather than through the belly of it.
He's a very graceful player, Keegan Jelassic. Almost makes it look casual, which can sometimes be levelled at him as a criticism, but I think often he's just a victim of his own style as much as anything.
Well, if he could convert that style into more goals and assists, there'd be no complaints. And I agree with you. He's very easy on the eyes, and he's a great technical set. Needs more end product.
Throw taken quickly, but Victory have it back just as quickly. Four goals and an assist so far this season for Jelassic, who's been in and out of the side after starting. Very much first choice. Here's Davidson. Velupale, again it's quickly on the scene. Atkinson, Yunus, and Lopane. They've done well. They've double-teamed Davidson and got it off him. Yunus, just a heavy touch. Well defended. Roderick Miranda, who's given it straight back to Atkinson. Yunus gets another chance. Drives it in hard. Too hard. And a little too high for Medin Mehmeti. As Bajic has kept it alive. And he's done well. In the end, it's still out for a throw at the same place for Victory.
It's a great tackle from the skipper, Miranda, who then gave the ball straight back. Again, that's great capture by a team with the cameras.
Mata, oh, that's a lovely control. Nduka just too close to Ferreira. And it's another sliding challenge. We've seen Miranda at one end, Ferreira at the other.
Well, exquisite from Juan Mata. And just when he thought he was free of Delbridge, Nduka then has to confront Ferreira sliding in, covering for his central defensive teammate.
Melbourne City trying to take a little bit of the sting out of Melbourne Victory's first 7.5 minutes. That's the Melbourne Victory fans now, who are on their feet. Davidson, good ball. All roads lead to Juan Mata at the moment. Valadon, Jelassic, they can wind up here, Victory. Keegan Jelassic! Well, that had plenty of power behind it, but unfortunately just not the accuracy again.
Nice, great drive though, really great drive. And setting fair for goal. He's got to back himself from there. Off the boot, he's thinking maybe, just maybe, but then it sails over. Patrick Beach in the City goal on full alert. He can change a game, no question. That's in his kit bag. Maybe tonight he's growing into the derby.
Here he is again, Jelassic back with Esposito. They do have options as well on the bench. There's Matt Grimaldi there, who's got a derby winner already this season. Claris Mario Santos, another. Nicholas Virgos as well, so plenty of attacking options on the bench. Jing Reese, who missed out last week with illness, is also on the bench. There they are, warming up along with the reserve goalkeeper Jack Duncan. Azani. Melbourne Victory fans enjoying themselves. They've enjoyed their side's performance so far this evening. But like so often this campaign, they'll feel they don't have their just rewards. Those young City fans as well in attendance. Their side have played second fiddle for much of this evening, but have shown in moments that they are still the A-League champions, defending that title. Bajic, the switch, but Yunus won't get to that one. A good minute or two of possession for Melbourne City, but Aurelio Vidmar not happy with the final outcome. He turned around to his assistant Scott Jamieson to get up and do the screaming on his behalf. They have struggled to juggle Asian Continental Champions League obligations with the A-League. Perhaps the priority just shifting a little bit as well, given the financial incentive of going deep into the Champions League elite. Despite that incentive, MacArthur fell short at the round of 16 of the ACL2 competition this week. In the end, going down 4-2 on aggregate to Bangkok United. Arzani. Bajic. Arzani again. He's just been clipped there by Jelassic. Referee allows the advantage. Ferreira. Lopane. For Arzani. Hasn't got the ball. He's only ended up fouling Denny Genro. been at just about every broken ball in midfield, Denny Genre, this evening.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job, but he's needed to. And Melbourne City have matched that as the game's gone on, which is one of the reasons that's brought them back to parity.
Here come a couple of subs then, a couple of youngsters with plenty of potential. Kavian Rahmani, who's recovered fully from that knee injury earlier in the campaign, and Emin Jurakovic as well. So it's Aurelio Vidmar, the first to go to his bench. Rahmani, who has a couple of goals this season. And it's Medin Mehmeti who's gone off on the far side of the field. So it's a straight swap for Rahmani. While Lopane means that Emin Jurakovic goes into that number 8 central midfield role. Jurakovic, another player who we've seen plenty of this season. This is his 14th appearance. The son of Mehmet Jurakovic, former Socceroo, and Melbourne Victory coach as well. Here's Teague with Atkinson. Arzani found a bit of space. The cross is a teasing one. Miranda didn't really deal with it confidently. How about that turn from Jelacic? As is Bajic. Felt he didn't have any option but to take that yellow card.
Lovely from Arzani. Pretty well dealt with too by Melbourne Victory. Ronnie Miranda just hacking the ball clear, and at this point, once he knows he's going to be cooked, Aziz may as well have jumped on for a piggyback, at least caused a bit of fatigue or something. Leave a lot to be desired. And Duca down.
An hour played now. Nikos Virgos is about to come on, so I assume that's a straight swap for Charles Nduka, who has toiled hard. We saw flashes of his pace in the early minutes.
But he just has not been able to get away from the clutches of Delbridge. This is Harrison Delbridge at his quintessential. This is what's made his career. A tall guy, good in the air, strong in the tackle, really tight marker. Gives a striker no space to move, no air to breathe.
And Matt Grimaldi, the hero of Melbourne Derby Act 2 this season, is also coming on. End of the night for Keegan Jelacic. Let's head down to Michael Zapponi on the sideline. Zappers.
Yeah, just interesting to observe during that break one. Marta coming over. There were concerns about his fitness, but he's fine. He just took in some fluids. But interestingly, he really got involved in a tactical conversation with Andrew Durante and Arthur Dillis, talking to them about what comes from here. So we know how good he is as a footballer, but we also know tactically he's got so much experience, and you can see him there talking to Denny Genre as well about what he's expecting in the next half an hour.
Thank you, Zappers. Well, he's shown he can play the full 90 minutes this season as well. Don't forget the Matildas may be taking centre stage with the Asian Cup, but at the end of March the Socceroos are back for the FIFA Series 2026. Socceroos versus Curaçao here at Amy Park. You can get your tickets, just search Socceroos on the internet and you will end up in the right place. Genreau once again comes away with the ball in the middle of the park. Esposito forward. Nice touch from Delbridge for Bajic. Follow-up not quite so good. Romani can't keep it in. In fact, it's Jurakovic. Sebastian Esposito on loan from Serie A side Lecce. Genreau with the switch. Atkinson intercepts. Yunus was taking off ahead of him, and that's a poor ball.
A really poor ball. Just a little bit of cushion on that outside of the right foot, and Yunus is away. The subs are interesting for victory. And Duka, if he's just been beaten in submission, you can understand. Big chance now for Nikos Virgos. He's been watching for an hour. He's been watching what Harrison Delbridge does. Let's see if he can get some skin off Big Harrison.
Well, Matt Grimaldi's skin. Big Harrison there. He's received a lovely pass from him, and now Mata! Well, one swaps it out. Juan Mata at the double. Magic, you most certainly are. The little Spaniard has fired Melbourne victory in front of a stake in the bank. Punish by the World Cup winner, who's just getting better and better with each outing.
Well, Harvey Norman replay, never mind about trying to take some bark off Harrison Delbridge. He'll do it himself. He's given the ball away to the sub, Matt Grimaldi, who gives it to Juan Mata. And he says, not one, but dos in the derby. Beautiful strike. Immaculate. Head down, knee over the ball. Through she goes. Right in front of the victory faithful. And don't they love it? What an adornment to the game, and what an adornment to the A-League. Juan Mata.
Absolutely nothing Patrick Beach could do about that. And the little advertising hoarding hurdle, just to give the quad an extra little workout. Didn't look like it's doing too bad, that left quad there. That was some strike. Juan Mata 2, Melbourne City 1. And those Melbourne victory substitutions paying dividends. Here comes Grimaldi. Little touch out for Valadon. Velupale's touch gets it back from Valadon. Velupale! Oh, well, if Delbridge had got a touch there, that could have been more trouble.
The leading edge would have required Patrick Beach to become Rodney Marsh for the older viewers. Adam Gilchrist for the middle-aged. You're struggling for the modern-day wicket. It's too much A-League on.
No time. Yunus through the legs of Davidson. They've already responded once, Melbourne City. Can they do so again?
And of course, Robbie, you were about to say Alex Carey, who's doing a brilliant job for the Aussies with the gloves, but let's focus on what's going on here, which is a fantastic Melbourne derby. And I was about to make the point that I thought Keegan Jelassic was a little bit stiff to get subbed. I thought he might be looming as a game breaker. And then Matt Grimaldi, with his first contribution, does the sensible thing and just gives the ball to Juan Mata. What a game he's having, and he's deserved a result like this so far.
Little ball over the top for Virgos. Velupule's there, but of course, Juan Mata's right there. Burgos did ever so well. Turned Atkinson and Ferreira before the gaps just closed up again.
It's a good moment for Burgos. Just wouldn't roll for him. He needed, after doing the muscle work, he digs in, uses his bulk, great mid-strength, and it just doesn't roll for him to make a decision. They do win the corner. Positive from Burgos. Victory with their noses in front.
I can tell you a first standing ovation of the evening for Juan Mata as he headed over that corner to take the ball. Cleared just by Aziz Bayic. That looked to have gone out of play. It's allowed to continue. Victory still have it. Victory still on the front foot. Grimaldi with Rawlins. Space here for Valadon. The big switch to the man of the moment. Juan Mata looks up, crosses back post towards Burgos. Davidson looking for Burgos again. Delbridge just with a telling touch. Valadon now. Well, City need to provide something. This one might just escape their clutches at the moment. And they trail.
Well, they were in a worse position, down 1-0 in the first half. It's just there's not so much time on the back end, of course, now with that second wonderful goal from Mata. If they need regrouping, they're going to have to do it quickly. In this mood, when they're playing like this, they're just a good touch away from going too clear. Melbourne victory. But putting teams to the sword has not been their forte this year, despite the number of great chances they've made.
Oh, well. Juan Mata, perhaps a little bit lucky, and he knows it as well.
I think that was a decision that went on reputation, not actuality.
He's almost apologetic to Marcus Yunus.
It's just not a fair fight. A young Marcus Yunus, the young bull, against the Matador.
Caputo and Arzani making way. Arzani very theatrically applauding the grandstand as he makes his way off. Schreiber and Kuhn into the contest as City look for a way back in. Bayic, well, he's a player that we know can produce and has so many times for club and country. Ferreira. Burgos putting himself about.
Which is better from him. I think that's what he needs to do. It's been a big gap in his game, my assessment. Generally, there's been moments.
Yunus has stayed out there. Kavian Rahmani has moved into a central role because Schreiber coming into the center of the park alongside Teague means that Jurakovic has headed into a wide wing role. These youngsters so versatile. Rahmani and Jurakovic almost interchangeable across nearly every midfield and forward position. Burgos wins the header. Delbridge. Back it comes again towards Mata. Well, City's #1 job at the moment has to be depriving Juan Mata of the football. He's involved again. Valadon foul. Referee says yes. Free kick, victory's way.
Well, Schreiber's first effort is just to try and stir the pot there for Melbourne City. It's what turned the game for them. Well, at least in their favour. Teague missing out, and Schreiber making no bones about the fact that I've got to start ruffling some feathers here. That's what gave us a platform in the first half. And an excellent header from Max Caputo. That's what we're going to have to do again to get back into this one.
Mata with the magic wand finds Davidson completely unmarked at the back post. It's now been over 40 minutes since Melbourne City have had a shot. Nothing in the second half. We talk about there you see it, 5 shots to nil. One of their benchmark performances was that come from behind win over Auckland a month ago. But it looks like that was the anomaly and not the rule.
But still, Victory haven't put them away.
Great ball, Esposito for Velupile, who's caught once, recovers. Now the ball has ended up going out of play, so the throw goes City's way in the end, and now Nishan Velupile can't believe it. Well, the referee thought he'd let the free kick go.
I'm not sure what part of that wasn't a free kick.
And now we've got Rahmani down. As we were watching replays there, it's Roderick Miranda who's claiming there was nothing untoward there, as Andreas Kuhn looks to get involved.
Unlike Kuhn to be dipping his oar in the water.
Ooh.
It's a knee right in the base of the back.
That looked very painful. To his credit, Roderick Miranda looked to apologise immediately and didn't run away. He's got a little shiner under his left eye himself from that earlier altercation with Max Caputo. But that was real heavy contact. A more cynical play, you'd say, would have done that on purpose. That's an old classic of central defenders, isn't it, Harps? How's your lower back these days?
Well, it's stock and trade for the panel beaters at the back. He needs a little bit of panel beating himself. Rahmani at the moment, he hasn't moved a lot.
Well, it's also very dangerous occasionally when a knee in the back. Hopefully he'll be all right. A couple of pills. The doctor and the club physio giving him the once over.
As it is, he looks like he's being held together by scotch tape. Grimaldi to Mata, just beautiful. In the goal, behind which the Victory fans are amassed. Patrick Beach at full stretch can do nothing about it. What a sensational acquisition he's been for Melbourne Victory.
Just the little swerve away to take it away from Beach and inside the side netting. Inch perfect from the master. Rahmani still feeling his back as he looks to rejoin, but he's not asking to rejoin just yet. And the physio is having a word to Aurelio Vidmar. And that's the end of the road, I think, for Kavian Rahmani. He's just given a shake of his head. Here's Kuhn. Back to goal. Oh, lovely from Andreas Kuhn. Well, that was some turn. It's like a magic trick almost.
He is magical. Victory are warned. Well, they haven't had a shot on target, Robbie, for how long?
45 minutes now.
This guy can change it. You know, they're only the goal clear. As much as they've dominated, they're a moment of Melbourne City magic away from losing that lead, and Kuhn nearly produced it.
Kuhn delivers again. Delbridge's header. Ferreira is there. Onto the roof of the net. That change is coming. Rahmani coming off, and it's going to be Samuel Suprayon, the veteran central defender, coming on as we see that header from Ferreira landing on the roof of the net. Oh, poor old Kavian Rahmani. He's only just come back from that knee injury.
It's going to facilitate change to 3 at the back, you'd imagine. Atkinson and Bajic might play as overlapping or wide fullbacks. It's a shame for Rahmani. He's clearly come into the game with some trouble on that right knee anyway. That's very frustrating and painful for the youngster.
Well, the problem with the lower back, of course, is here come Victory again. Burgos for Grimaldi. He's got a great shot on him, Matt Grimaldi. You don't want to give him half a yard space either. Genro again, just cleaning up everything in midfield. Denny Genro. Mata with Velupale. Davidson. Here they come again. Juan Mata. Grimaldi. Oh, almost feeding it through for Nishan Velupale. Teague does well. So the introduction of Samuel Suprail means a switch to 3 at the back for City. Bajic and Atkinson to push even further forward. Either side of Schreiber and Teague, and now a front 3 by the looks of things. Jurakovic, Kuhn and Yunus. Arthur Dillis would love the security of a 3rd goal. 11 minutes left. This is the period. You know it's coming, Arthur. Well, Melbourne Victory concede more goals than any other side in the competition. 8 in the last 15 minutes of matches. It's been one of a couple of Achilles' heels for them this campaign, even if they have somewhat rectified their problems in front of goal. Another 2-goal haul this evening, but one of the absolutely highest order. Arthur Dillis looks like he's going to make another attacking change as well. Claris Mario Santos is ready to come on, the Brazilian. That change is going to come now, and it's Nishan Velupale to come off.
No suggestion at this point at all of Juan Mata getting an early shower with the 2 goals, and we'll just put some legs on to try and cover for you. It does mean that Grimaldi, Burgos and Santos really need to rip the cord. Players have worked really hard, but they're not clear. It's the barest of margins.
Schreiber looking to find something for City. Atkinson taking on Santos. Atkinson, he's done well. The cross in, Santos, back post. It might yet fall, Schreiber. Well, he didn't fancy it first time. Zane Schreiber, who then gives Jordi Valadon a big bear hug to the ground.
Who felt the contact and equally felt no need to persevere. Valadon. That free kick is perhaps the speed with which it was taken was perhaps a little ill-advised from their skipper. Burgos was surrounded. The ball's gone back to Melbourne City, and they're going to be under pressure again. Victory.
Here's Suprail with Teague. He looks left. Right, rather, towards Atkinson. Teague gets it straight back again. Kuhn with Jurakovic. Andreas Kuhn again. The little 1-2. Atkinson. Atkinson still. Teague. Somehow Denny Genro got a decisive touch on that. Now Burgos. Santos. Touch inside, but it's Andreas Kuhn.
He needs to find his game feet and quick. Burgos not working hard enough. I mean, he carried that ball out, but his defensive effort before then was pretty lackadaisical. Again, he could be dropping now to help the midfielder. Just watches the play go by. Playing with fire here, Victory.
Bajic. Kuhn, great ball back towards Aziz Bajic. Esposito alert to the danger. Andreas Kuhn immediately at the heart of everything, but he's been dispossessed there by Burgos. Mata. Space here for Santos. 3-on-2 if they play their cards right. Burgos. He's got Grimaldi in the middle. Nikos Burgos still. Burgos. Well, it's wound down the clock, if nothing else.
Well, momentarily. Not necessarily the problem that he decided to shoot as the Argentine takes the Brazilian out on the centre circle. But it just lacked conviction. And still, they can't put Melbourne City away.
Pereira. Santos. Davidson wants movement from the Brazilian. Davidson decides to take matters into his own hand. Santos. No free kick, says the referee. Genro. Grimaldi, nice touch. Rawlins. Grimaldi again. Valadon. This is nice from Victory. Rawlins drives it in hard. Santos not anticipating. And Davidson gets it to Juan Mata. Oh, brilliant first time ball. Creating space out of nothing for Santos.
I mean, this is just the latest game where you clip up Juan Mata's highlights and you send it to every kid in Australia. He only makes the pass to Santos, who wins the free kick in the end, because he's taken the 360 picture before the ball's even got to him. It's the efficiency and then making it look so simple because he's taken in all the information. And Santos not really on his game's best at the moment. He's done some fabulous things for Victory during his time here, but just slightly on his heels off the bench so far this evening, but he has won this free kick.
What is Juan Mata going to pull out of his little bag of tricks? Dinks it back post. Davidson is there! Just wide.
It wouldn't be out of place for Jason Davidson to score a specky to settle a derby either. He's been strong again tonight and will be looking to make some addition to the scoreboard, given he lost that challenge with Atkinson for the City goal, which is just a matter of record. It's not necessarily that Jason was asleep at the wheel at the time. There was a great effort there. Juan Mata, a rare thing, giving away a free kick. They're just trying to stop the momentum of Melbourne City, or disavow them of the opportunity to develop any momentum.
Well, that's a good ball for Yunus, who was clipped by Esposito, I think. Yellow card for Sebastian Esposito. And this is dangerous now. Cynical.
Yeah, well, it's probably the best part of the field to do it, given the way that play was unfolding. He is so instinctively dangerous, Yunus. As is Beige. Hero for the Socceroos.
And scorer of an outstanding free kick against MacArthur earlier this season.
Oh, he's going to fancy himself here. Can he be hero for his club, which he captains? Zane Schreiber standing over, surely just for decoy purposes.
You've got to at least pretend that you might have a right footer.
Or is there a trick play about to come? Now is as good a time as any if they've got one up their sleeve, Melbourne City.
There goes the whistle. City's turn to try and respond. Bajic tried to keep it low around the wall, but the wall did its job. And Marcus Yunus trying to flick the ball back that time. outdid himself. Well, if he'd started a little wider, perhaps he could have got the curl.
No draft excluder.
Jing Reese preparing his entrance. Suprayon, a little touch, it's very tight there. Juan Mata leads the break of 4 Melbourne Victory players. Here goes Santos, he's quick, Burgos in the middle. Santos, oh, brilliant! And that is it. The Brazilian Santos, curling the ball inside the far post. To settle this one once and forever. City have been unpicked. Mata again at the heart of everything. The Melbourne Victory. Santos the finishing touch. And Melbourne City find themselves well and truly outside the 6.
Well, Harvey Norman replay. City pressing on the edge of the box. They've hung on like a barnacle, but Melbourne Victory couldn't put them away. Until Juan, the Matador, plunges the sword through the resilience of Melbourne City. Takes possession just outside of his own penalty area. Has a quick look up and sees Brazilian Santos and fancies no one's catching him. Clip the ball into the vacant space. And then Santos skips inside the Argentine. What a great feeling for a Brazilian. Just in passing. Outside, Patrick Beach's outstretched left hand. And it's a wonderful derby win for Melbourne Victory. A superb contest settled by 3 fabulous goals. The architecture, all of which at the feet of none other than Juan Mata.
Fifth of the season for Claris Mario Santos, who goes one better than he did last year. Now City have no more choice. They have to throw caution to the wind.
Well, surely not from here. You can't rule anything out in football.
Here they come, perhaps. Kuhn, Jurakovic in the middle. They'll have a corner at least. 5 minutes of stoppage time.
Well, a change being lined up. You wonder if it's the opportunity for Juan Mata to take his bow. It would be appropriate.
And he's going to want to take his time. Daniel Elder doesn't want the standing ovation. Even Melbourne City fans down their end applauding Juan Mata. It has been one of those nights. Magic. He most certainly is. A Mata class this evening from the former Manchester United, Chelsea, Valencia player. Bajic, powerful. The cross, Teague arriving against his former club. Well, if they do get a goal back, it'll make it interesting.
Certainly, it certainly will. They're not home yet.
There's how it looks with just 3 minutes left. Melbourne Victory climbing to 27 points. City now 3 points out of the 6. MacArthur can further lengthen that points gap tomorrow if they can get something from Newcastle.
It's a decent Sunday football fair, isn't it? Tickets going really well for the box office Jets in Newcastle tomorrow. the visit of the recently stung Bulls, exiting Asia, which was hugely disappointing for them. Will there be a response? Newcastle lie in wait. Still not done here. Melbourne City have come back from a difficult position here to go close to taking the lead. Think back to that Ed Mehmeti effort at 1-1 to go 2-1 up. And Victory have had so much of the second half. Had just not been able to kick clear until that brilliant finish from Santos on the back of the brilliance and the leadership of Juan Mata. It's been a great derby. No question about that.
Delbridge. For the moment, an unhappy A-League return for Harrison Delbridge. Cohen, the cutback, just eludes Schreiber. Suprail straight back, Jonro. One for Grimaldi to chase. Teague and Valadon. Suprail, the 37-year-old Frenchman, trying to give some impetus. Andreas Kuhn, it's a nice touch. Yunus can't get there. And Vergos will keep it in, if for nothing else, to just wind down the clock. Vergos, Grimaldi. 40 seconds left. Schreiber. Oh, it's a good ball. Nice first touch, Yunus. Shoots near post. Saved. He's been something of a one-man band in an attacking sense.
Well, in a sense, and as he gets that shot on goal and then it's parried for the corner, Davidson looks straight up the other end of the field and said, "What are you knuckleheads doing?"
The 5 minutes of stoppage time are up. The cross in, the header from Esposito. Schreiber! Oh, that wasn't far away. Well, it probably would have been nothing more than a consolation in the end. The 5 minutes of stoppage time are up.
He's given a good account of himself, Zane Schreiber, since coming on the field, but it's all for now at this point.
The final whistle. A Melbourne derby with more than a hint of El Clasico this evening. The Spanish maestro, Juan Mata, gracing the A-League.
Melbourne, hear the sound of drumming, must be the victory coming. Pump up and full of running, victory the brave. Blue, white, and silver flying strike like a flash of lightning, revved up and full of fighting, victory the brave. And in the heat of battle, stand up and show no fear, proud and courageous, marching on to victory. Oh, Melbourne, hear the sound of drumming, must be the victory coming. Pumped up and full of running, victory the brave.
Of last season's side that went all the way to a second ever A-League championship. They need to rectify that situation. It's a matter of urgency for Melbourne City if they want to play finals football. The Melbourne victory. When you have a player of the class, and I'm sorry, like a flash of lightning, revved up and full of fighting, victory the brave. Victorious in the 51st Melbourne derby over Melbourne City by 3-1.
Marching on to victory, oh Melbourne, hear the sound of drumming, must be the victory coming. Pumped up and full of running, victory the brave.
Indeed, thanks, Robbie. Aziz Behich, I can tell you're not happy. What disappointed you most about that?
I think it was just, yeah, look, it wasn't good enough from the start. We were too slow moving the ball. We weren't aggressive with our press, which we're normally good at, suffocating teams. it was too slow. And yeah, look, we got punished tonight. We have a lot to look at, that's for sure, as a playing group, because it hasn't been good enough in the A-League this season.
There was a point in the game where you almost came back. Mehmeti had a shot there to put you 2-1 up, so you're still in the game for long periods.
Yeah, look, as you know, we weren't playing at our best, but you know, at this level and games like this of this magnitude, those chances don't come very often. We've got to bury those, and the game turns. Confidence comes into the playing group, but we didn't, and then we got punished in the second half.
We know you've had a busy schedule with Asia. Do you put any reasoning around that extra football? Does that impact you tonight?
No, it shouldn't. We're footballers. It's our job at the end of the day. Play, recover. We've got to be professional about it. No excuses tonight. We just weren't good enough.
Thanks for joining us. All right, Jason Davidson joins us now. Very happy, Jason Davidson. That's a special night, isn't it? How much did you enjoy that?
It's amazing. Derby, 7:30 Saturday night in Melbourne. Fans turn out. It's a fantastic feeling.
Juan Mata continues to impress us. We know how good it is, but every week he just reminds us even more of his quality. What's it been like having him as part of this squad this season?
You know, at the start, people were asking me, and in interviews as well, what we thought about Juan, and I said I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, especially what we saw in pre-season. And I think every week now he's just pulling another rabbit out of the hat, and it's a great testament, firstly, as a person to who he is, and secondly, to keep his body in shape at the age he is, to perform week in, week out. He plays nearly 90 minutes every week, so it's just an amazing asset for us, and we're just very lucky to have him.
I know there's one thing you'll want to improve now. You've got 8 weeks to go. When you look at your form guide from January, it's been 1 win, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 loss. What's going to make the difference from tonight onwards, do you think?
You're exactly right. Consistency is the key word here. Like I've said, not just for us, but I think for any team who finds that consistency, it's going to be a threat going into finals. I don't know if you saw, but we kind of brought the boys in around the 70th minute mark when we could feel that, you know, we had a big chat this week about talking about how do we regain momentum when we lose it on the pitch. So we try to regroup on the pitch just to try to find another gear in us to push, and we knew we had it. And, you know, credit to the boys because they found it, we pushed through, and we looked like the dominant side in the second half, especially. So we got to find that consistency every week to find that way where we can, you know, keep pushing, especially in our bad moments.
There's a full North Terrace there. They want to celebrate with you. Off you go.
All right. Thank you very much.
Well, the night belongs to Melbourne Victory. The night belongs to this team, its fans, but it does belong to Juan Mata, the hero of tonight's performance in the 51st edition of the Melbourne Derby. I haven't seen anything like it in the history of the A-League. We have a goal of the season. We have a Melbourne Derby goal of the Derby, and it was an absolutely incredible performance in the end. Thomas Somerson and Archie Thompson. Archie, I know that you can't wipe the smile off your face because in the end, in the first half, it was a little bit of a tug of war, but
talked about their consistency, and they're starting to find it, and it was a matter of putting 90 minutes together. And I thought the intensity of Melbourne Victory straight from the start, and it was actually great to hear what Davidson said, because in matches sometimes momentum is a big thing, and the way they climbed that and brought that back, especially when Melbourne City scored that first one, they started to get the ascendancy, but then the way they came out in the second half got up in their faces, and you know, you talk about the magician, Mata. I mean, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think they won the game physically, they won the game tactically. I think that the way they robbed Melbourne City off the ball, obviously they had the quality as well on top of that. So I think it was a fully deserved win for Victory. Sadly, I have to say that, but they were tremendous. And you know, I think looking at the rest of the season now, that they're definitely right up there if they can find that consistency.
They did find that consistency, didn't they? As Jason Davidson said, it feels like, hopefully for the side Archie T, that they put a line in the sand. Let's take a look at the Ninja Alex total points across that game. Hey, no surprises here. Pretty much it was 3 points to Juan Mata, 2 points to Juan Mata, and 1 to Juan Mata. We went Denny Jean Rowe, was fantastic in midfield, and Josh Rawlins with the 1 point as well. And we are joined by the man at the moment, Juan Mata. Juan, a huge congratulations. One thing that we know from your performance tonight is class is permanent. Your performance, your goals, your assists, absolutely sublime. It must be a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a very enjoyable night. To be fair, to be able to play at this level, not myself, the whole team in a derby is very special. So, yeah, happy night.
talk us through the goal, because it obviously comes out of nothing. I think you did really well at pressing Melbourne City, causing them some problems. But yeah, like, is it just instinct, or did you see it?
It was instinct, and I saw that the goalkeeper was a bit out of his goal. You know, sometimes you try this and it goes to the corner kick, but this one went in, and I was actually waiting to check VAR for a possible free kick, but I'm very happy they didn't rule it out.
The big word, obviously, throughout the A-League is consistency. And, you know, your performances over the last few weeks have been really, really good without really sort of, I guess, going into getting results. But tonight, do you feel like that was probably the best 90-minute performance from the Melbourne Victory this year?
Yeah, I would say tonight or the game against Sydney FC. And there are pretty big games to do it. So I think we're showing up when it matters against the big teams, against the special derbies for us. And today actually was a very, very solid game. From the beginning, we started really well with intensity, creating chances, and then we could kill the game in the second half. So we're very happy and very proud. And you know, you mentioned before Denny. I think he was outstanding today. Denny, Jordan in the middle. Nish, Keegan, Grima when he came on, everyone showed up today, and that's why we won.
Yeah. And at 37, like you look
soon 38.
Hey, let's not talk about it. Well, you look fitter than ever. You know, you can easily compete for 90 minutes. Do you sleep in a cryo chamber? Like, what do you do off the pitch to keep fit and obviously keep motivated as well?
I think you said it there. I think it's about motivation. Football many times is a state of mind, and this year I'm enjoying. I feel at home here, you know, with the coaching staff, with the teammates, with the club. Fantastic people here in Victory. So the more I play, the better I feel, and I think that's good news for that stage of my career.
Well, I feel better, that's for sure.
Santos came on the park, and I mean, it can be a copy and paste. I was thinking, how are you going to play him in? So it's his 5th goal of the season. He's nearly halfway there to the little, you know, something, the side hustle, the side bet that you've got going with Santos. But that must make you feel pretty happy, pretty proud as well.
Yes, because he also had a tough time, you know, after Central Coast. He had a little injury, then he didn't play for a couple of games since the beginning. But again, he contributed when he came on. We all know that when he's on the pitch, we need to put the ball in behind. That's his best skill, and today he showed it again.
And finally, we saw you getting some treatment in the sheds. Of course, it was half-time.
Ice bath, today ice bath, yeah.
The quad's good, you're fine?
Yeah, it's fine. It's
okay,
fine.
So you're good to potentially go and play a round of golf with Archie Thompson?
Yes. You know, last time I had to pull out. Because I had something in my groin and I didn't want to push it, but to be fair, I have been training, that's why.
That's why.
I think he's going to want to take you up on that offer. Juan, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Magnificent performance tonight. You're a star, and congratulations on the result.
Thanks.
Juan Mata team, an absolute gentleman, and what a star he is. Let's take a look at the Harvey Norman highlights. We have so many Harvey Norman highlights to get through now. All the goals across the entirety of the match. It was a spectacular performance and a spectacular derby here tonight in Melbourne at Amy Park. And this is how it all started. This beautiful moment that Juan Mata just spotted the goalkeeper off the line. It was sublime.
Again, this is the genius. You know, he said it was instinct. He sees it quickly. But you know, the top players can make a decision in you know, a blink of an eye, and to have then the quality to actually do it. You know, that's Juan Mata. I think we can just sit back and enjoy, you know, watching it, because he's playing some of the best football. Yeah, he was great in the Premier League, but he's tremendous.
Look at this guy running towards the fans. I mean, we're looking at his goals, but it's just joy.
Look, it doesn't matter how old you are. When you're running to that stand after the performance that he put in a Melbourne derby and the goals he scored, I mean, you'll find another gear. But like Thomas said, I just think every pass that he plays, he doesn't really give the ball away too often, and you know, the assists again. He's got 9 assists. He's got 3 goals. I mean, coming in this one, he only had the 1. But if he was just assisting as well, it's fantastic. But tonight was just his match. It was a brilliant.
Yeah, and we just saw Melbourne City obviously had that little bit of hope, got that great goal you know, from Caputo, but then Harrison Delbridge gives the ball away, and again they were punished. You know, with the quality that Melbourne Victory has, great, and Mata, the way he finds the space, you know, he drifts off, and you know, this is another quality finish. You know, so yeah, like Melbourne Victory were just all over the park. Were better today.
And you also have to say, I mean, I think the whole team, like, I mean, obviously the headline's going to be Mata with the goals, and surely it has to be. But I thought the team's performance, you did say Jean Rowe, I mean, Valadon, the way that they commanded that midfield when City didn't have it, we talked about that. And, you know, the press and the intensity, it was just immense all over the park.
I'm just looking at this race to the top 6, and I'm looking to the race when you get to finals, and this is, you know, tonight felt like a final. It had that intensity of a final, and it's who's going to take the moment. I mean, look at these moments here. This is going to go down as one of the best, from a Melbourne Victory perspective, Melbourne derbies in the history of the game.
It had, like, from both ends, like the Victory supporters, the Melbourne City supporters, I thought it was a great atmosphere. They got served a treat, so, you know, if they don't go home happy, you know, there's something wrong. And
they certainly have to enjoy this tonight, but I reckon they've got an eye on the next couple of fixtures, because the next 2 or 3 matches, they're playing teams in that 6. So, I mean, you want to be able to kind of cement yourself with a bit more, I guess, go on a bit of a run, a bit more consistency, which they showed tonight, and really cement yourself in that 6 where you don't need to worry about teams that are around.
Look at this, Wachowski, goalkeeper there, up with all the fans in the North Terrace. They turned out in their droves tonight here. You know, tonight is a home game for Melbourne City. No surprise, though, that, of course, it's shaded by Melbourne Victory. Not more than shaded, actually, when it comes to the support. But this is what makes a Liga, if you want to call it that, so damn special and so unique. And you can see the impact of a player like Juan.
Yeah, no, he's a talisman, but this is also the connection that you enjoy as a player, you know, to go down. You know, the fans are there through thick and thin, and yeah, sometimes you know they voice their, you know, dissatisfaction, but these are the nights that will make them come back. These are the nights as players that you know you can live, you know, your dreams out, the emotions and everything, and to go down and thank them for the support, I think is fantastic.
See, Archie doesn't want to play golf with Juan Mata. He's like, I want to play on the pitch with you, man.
God, I would have loved that.
Let's take a look at the Paramount Plus player index now, and we crunch the numbers across the game, and far and away and ahead of the rest of the players on the park tonight, it belonged to Juan Mata. The headlines belong to him. Denny Jeanreau got through a mountain of work. He's had a phenomenal season, well and truly, coming back to the league, playing for Melbourne Victory, crossing that derby divide. Jordi Valadon, Nishan Velupillay. Look, it was interesting. He was getting some one-on-one coaching as well, wasn't he, from Andrew Durante at the end of the game. He'll be a little bit disappointed with his performance tonight. But Denny Jeanreau, he was an absolute motor in the middle of the park, and Michael Zappone's with him.
I am indeed. Thank you, Tara. Denny, we've just seen Juan Mata stand up there. He's the new king of Melbourne. We know Archie's the king, but has he got a claim on a second crown in Melbourne at the moment?
Yeah, what a performance by him and by the whole team. Yeah, tonight we rolled up the sleeves. We played unbelievable in the first half and in patches in the second half. And Juan got the goals, he got the assists. Santos coming on as well was brilliant. So it's just a perfect night in Melbourne with our fans.
Well, you did brilliantly as well. You spoke before the game about doing all that hard work and winning those tackles, and you were exemplary this evening. Tell us a little bit about your game and how hard you had to work tonight to get Melbourne Victory on top.
Yeah, for sure. Me and Jordy in there, we have a lot of ground to cover. That's our role in the team, so that Juan and the forward boys can express themselves. And yeah, no, to be honest, we spoke about it during the week between us and the players, and we knew what was at stake tonight. And yeah, we just had to roll the sleeves up, work hard, and to be honest, it feels really good to get a win, because we've been working hard all season, and this is really deserved tonight for us.
Especially to get a win on a derby night in front of that crowd. That must be a very special feeling, especially from a Melbourne boy too.
Yeah, for sure. It means a lot. Personally, and we've been working so hard, and it's so frustrating when you don't get the result when you're working hard. And tonight we deserved it. We got the result, and yeah, we can go to sleep well tonight. We're exhausted. Whoa, exhausted.
You will indeed. Well done, mate.
Thank you, guys.
All right, very happy down here, Tara.
And he is the next level ninja, Denny Jeanreau. His performance just absolutely outstanding. He was everywhere, and we spoke about Thomas, that midfield battle. He was dominating everything from a Melbourne Victory perspective.
Yeah, and he almost got a goal. Yes. You know, he doesn't get many. I thought, again, him and Valadon, they ran that midfield, totally outclassed Melbourne City, and they closed down the space, but also got on the ball. And were driving, Melbourne Victory forward. So I think he's really settled in, and he's made a difference to this Melbourne Victory side.
He absolutely has. All right, we're off to a short break. More to wrap up on the other side. And don't forget, next weekend, the Asian Cup kicks off and the Matildas right here at home.
It's Kyra Cooney cross, thinks about the long shot, and she finds it!
When you unite together for that one goal in the 90 minutes, it's something special.
That is special! Huge moment for the Matildas.
The only place to see the Combank Matildas and every game of the AFC Asian Cup is on Paramount Plus.